moment Caty McNally stepped back to serve down break point in the final set, the entire court felt like it was shifting under her feet. Her hands were sweating, her ball toss was swaying slightly off-center, and across the net, Alexandra Eala was standing with absolute, terrifying stillness. There was no fidgeting, no desperate deep breaths, and no glances toward her player box for validation. Down 1-5 earlier in the match, Alex Eala had already decided how this story was going to end. By the time you finish this video, you will understand why Caty McNally didn't just lose a tennis match today. She collided headfirst with an unstoppable global movement that is fundamentally changing the WTA Tour. And if you've been in this corner since day one watching every single drop of sweat and every historic breakthrough, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and stand with the rest of the Filipino army taking over world tennis. To understand the sheer weight of what happened on court today, you have to look at the dual universe these two players inhabited before the very first ball was struck. On one side of the net, you had Caty McNally, an established powerhouse on the tour, a player with deep Grand Slam doubles pedigree, high-level main draw experience, and the backing of the traditional tennis establishment. McNally walked onto the court defending her image, her ranking, and her rightful place at the top table of professional tennis. On the other side stood Alex Eala, carrying something infinitely heavier than individual ranking points. Eala was carrying the collective belief of over 100 million people. Every time she stepped up to hit a forehand, she wasn't just swinging a racket. She was answering the hopes of an entire diaspora that has hungered for a true global sports icon on the hard courts. The financial stakes alone were staggering, a guaranteed massive payday exceeding $100,000, crucial main draw ranking points, and a massive jump toward top-tier seeds. But while McNally was playing for survival and prize money, Eala was playing for destiny. The breaking point arrived in the opening set, and for a terrifying 30 minutes, it looked like a total disaster. McNally came out firing, painting lines, mixing up slice approaches, and executing a textbook tactical plan designed to push the young Filipina deep behind the baseline. Eala found herself down 1-5, facing break point after break point as the crowd grew dead silent. This was the exact micro-moment where young players usually fracture. You see it every single week on tour. Rackets getting thrown, frantic looks at coaches, visible panic in every movement. But look closely at Eala's body language during that changeover. No racket smashing, no dramatic screams, no tears, just ice-cold composure. She walked calmly to her towel, wiped her face, looked up into the stands, and locked eyes with the sea of blue, red, and yellow flags hanging over the railing. Overseas workers who had driven 4 hours after midnight shifts, families holding handwritten signs, and Pinoy fans who paid inflated ticket prices just to breathe the same air were making their presence felt. Pressure is a slippery thing, and in that exact moment, the weight shifted off Eala's shoulders and landed directly onto McNally's chest. What followed over the next hour was a masterclass in clinical psychological dominance. Eala didn't just stage a comeback, she built a high-speed engine of continuous pressure. First came the hold to make it 2-5. Then, a relentless, punishing return game that forced McNally into 3 unforced errors in a row, 5-3. By the time Eala leveled the score at 5-5, McNally's game plan was completely shredded. Eala's forehand down the line, hit with pinpoint precision and absolute violence, left the commentator panel stunned. As one top tournament analyst noted live on air, "You are watching a kid who simply refuses to acknowledge the concept of defeat." The data backs up the eye test. 4 consecutive breakpoint conversions, an 82% win rate on second serve returns during the second set, and 0 baseline errors when the rallies extended past 8 shots. When you break down the mechanics of what transpired on that hard court, the tactical shift was nothing short of extraordinary. McNally, known for her sharp net play and aggressive serve and volley mix-ups, was forced into a grinding baseline war that she was completely ill-equipped to win. Eala recognized this vulnerability early in the second set and systematically targeted McNally's backhand wing with heavy, deep topspin that bounced above the American's comfort zone. Every time McNally tried to chip and charge, Eala answered with razor-sharp passing shots that clipped the baseline, forcing McNally to second-guess her signature style. The physical toll on McNally became obvious by the fifth game of the final set. Her reaction time slowed, her serve velocity dipped by nearly 8 miles per hour, and the frustration was etched across her face. This match was more than just an athletic contest. It was a masterclass in mental fortitude. When Eala found herself trailing, she didn't alter her fundamental technique or resort to low-percentage trick shots. Instead, she tightened her footwork, shortened her swing path to handle McNally's heavy pace, and stepped 2 feet inside the baseline on returns. That tactical adjustment neutralized McNally's biggest weapon, her kick serve out wide, and turned what should have been an advantage for the American into an immediate attacking opportunity for Eala. The precision of Eala's return games under high-pressure conditions showed a level of tactical maturity rarely seen in players her age, proving that her technical evolution is matching her mental toughness step for step. The broader implications of this victory reverberate far beyond a single tournament draw or a six-figure payout. With this win, Alex Eala continues her relentless ascent up the WTA rankings, closing the gap on established top-tier competitors and proving that her game translates seamlessly against diverse playing styles. For the global tennis community, her performance sends a loud and clear message. The balance of power on the WTA Tour is evolving, and young, fearless competitors backed by passionate international fan bases are redefining what it takes to compete at the absolute highest level. Every round Eala advances isn't just another win on her record. It's a statement that she belongs in the main draw of every major tournament on the calendar. As the match reached its climax, McNally raised an institutional white flag in the closing games as Eala's rally depth systematically dismantled her net-charging strategy. It wasn't just a tactical victory, it was redemption served cold. Eala closed out the final set with an unstoppable serve out wide, securing the massive six-figure payday, a historic milestone victory. And an absolute statement to the entire locker room. Her opponent had the resume, the Grand Slam finals experience, and the backing of traditional tennis academies, but Alex Eala has the loudest, most fierce movement in modern sports. She didn't just beat Caty McNally today. She sent a message to every top 50 player on the WTA Tour that no lead is safe, and no court is neutral when the Philippines shows up. Did Caty McNally crack under the intense crowd pressure? Or is Alex Eala's tactical peak simply too high for mainstream players to handle now? Drop your exact thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the debate raging, and make sure to subscribe to Tennis Pulse to stay locked into the inner circle where the early believers talk to each other. The moment the final handshake took place at the net, the reality of what Alex Eala had just accomplished sent shockwaves through the entire tournament grounds. This was far more than a single second-round victory or a highlight reel performance on a side court. By completely dismantling Caty McNally after facing a terrifying 1-5 deficit, Eala demonstrated a level of psychological resilience that most professional players spend an entire career trying to develop. She transformed a near disaster into a masterclass of tactical adaptability, proving that no matter how deep the hole appears to be, her baseline power and ice-cold composure can turn any match completely on its head. Beyond the immediate tactical triumph, the ripple effects of this win will be felt throughout her entire season campaign. Accumulating critical WTA ranking points, securing a substantial six-figure prize money payday, and building raw, unshakable momentum against experienced tour veterans provides Eala with the exact launchpad required to push deep into major draw territory. Mainstream analysts can no longer classify her runs as fortunate draws or temporary surges. The data, the rally metrics, and the baseline execution prove that her peak level is fully capable of disrupting the established hierarchy of world tennis. As Eala steps off the court and prepares for her next challenge, the message to the locker room is unmistakable. You cannot break her spirit, you cannot rely on early leads, and you can never underestimate the energy of the global Filipino movement standing right behind her every single time she steps onto the hard courts.